This opening scene is definitely, for me, the second best, right behind the original, in terms of opening kills. It's not even a kill.
I was about to say, it's not even a kill, but it's brutal.
But hey, maybe that's what makes it special also, is that it throws you off because nobody actually dies.
Yeah, so we meet Tara, Jenna Ortega, and she gets the call from Ghostface.
Which initially doesn't seem like Ghostface. It seems like some regular Joe Schmo who actually called the wrong number.
Up until he asked that famous line.
They really let Ghostface talk as a normal human being for a good 3 minutes. He really eases into Ghostface. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you have the... maybe it's too meta. She's talking about elevated horror, and she likes the Babadook and all this stuff. And
I still haven't seen the Babadook.
Well, that's because you're not elevated. So elevate. You need to elevate so you can demonstrate.
Night House.
That's elevated horror. Yeah, that's true.
What's another? I haven't watched her. It Comes at Night. That's elevated horror.
But in Ghostface, like, hey, what about the stab movies? She's like, fuck the stab movies.
Yeah, she's not into slashers.
They're not elevated. They're de-elevated.
Yeah, I watched 2 of them today, and I was pissed.
We both watched Halloween Kills. So finally, though, it leads into, what happened in the first stab movie? I don't know.
And then he just tells us, like, okay, well, you better find out real quick, because if you don't, I'm going to kill your friend Amber.
And we cut to a video shot of Amber, who's being watched by some mysterious and unknown person from the outside, which I have to say, as a horror movie aficionado, I immediately suspect Amber's involved when I see her in this video, because I'm like, well, there's probably 2 killers, and
the killer is already texting using Amber's number, because apparently he hacked to get her number.
Now, Scream is known for the whole, they cloned my phone thing. That's always a ploy. They clone the phone. Tara has a landline, which 2022.
Who has landlines nowadays?
A little bit off there. That's kind of like, okay, that's a throwback, but okay.
Notice how she didn't answer the phone at first. Like, someone keeps calling the landline. It's weird.
These, the trivia questions Ghostface asks, again, this takes me right back to the original. This feels like maybe one of the best Ghostface phone calls since that first phone call with Drew Barrymore. Because he's asking the questions, but he's doing those trick questions. But she should have got that right, though.
Like, who's the killer in the first stab movie?
If you know enough about stab, you're like, Billy Loomis! How you gonna leave? How do you forget Stu? If you know enough to know it's Billy, you just remember there was a second killer, though.
Right.
But it was kind of a trick question in the vein of Jason's mother was the killer, or not Jason in the first Friday the 13th. So Ghostface always trying to trick the
which he did.
Now, my question, how close does Amber live to Tara? Because Tara, upon realizing she got the question wrong, gets a knife and decides, like, I'm going to come save you, Amber, and rushes to her front door.
And Ghostface is, like, right outside the door.
Right. But just Amber, or just Tara wanting to do that makes me think that Amber lives in her neighborhood or something?
Probably just down the street.
Because she was pretty like, I'll just go help you out myself. Like, well, yeah, clearly.
Even though when we finally see Amber's house, we know that's not the case.
Now,
well, then again, Jenna Ortega, her character is most likely old enough to drive.
Even driving, though, she still has to feel like she can get there in a matter of seconds. Otherwise, why wouldn't you just call the police and send them to Amber's house? So the video, because Ghostface is outside, so the video of Amber is obviously pre-taped.
It's pre-taped.
That's like a saved video that they made earlier.
Might as well mention who the killers are.
Because Richie is somewhere with Sam in another town.
Which means this has to be Amber.
So they got together previously and they taped Amber in her house. And this is just Amber now.
Or, I actually have another theory. So Ghostface, I mentioned it before, it might as well be his own entity. But what I just now figured out is Ghostface is actually a hitman for hire. And once his contract is up, he leaves, and that's why we always get the third act twist of who the killers actually are, because Ghostface has just left.
See, folks, this is why we can't be doing the fan fiction. You have to do it for us, because if we did it, this is the kind of shit that would be coming out. So spare us future Nick's outside the box thinking.
Oh, come on. What's wrong? I mean, we know that the Tremors are just predator worms.
I was going to bring that up. This is the same level of that theory. This is just like, we're really reaching here.
She closes, locks the door, and because it's a smart house, she's locking the door. Ghostface is unlocking it. She's locking it. Ghostface. It's actually pretty suspenseful.
Ghostface is unlocking it because it's obviously probably a close friend.
Yeah.
As Amber is.
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty suspenseful scene that I thought when I originally saw the trailers and saw this, I was thinking to myself, that's going to be stupid as shit.
Yeah, in the trailer, it looked lame.
But the way they played it off in this was actually pretty good.
I think it's because Jenny Ortega knows how to actually look like
Scared?
she's not acting, like she looks really scared. You immediately like, oh shit, she ain't acting, she's scared. That's exactly how somebody panicked would be acting.
Mm-hmm. And then we get that one final bonus question. Do you think I got in the house? And,
she is. Sorry.
And this one is actually pretty brutal. She's sitting there stabbing the hell out of Tara, purposely missing all the vital organs, by the way.
Knowing that it's her best friend doing it too, just adds a level of creepiness to it. Like, damn,
how often?
Take it easy on her. That's her friend. So Ghostface is purposely just trying to injure her.
Yes.
That's really tricky to be like, okay, I am going to like do something very serious to you, but I'm not supposed to kill you.
Right.
I mean, Amber is not like a professional hitman, so this is very tricky. Like, she's stabbing her.
Well,
doing
she
this
probably
stuff.
looked up like certain areas to stab where it wouldn't have been fatal, but still would have looked serious enough to make people think that this person actually did try to kill her.
Yeah, well, she still gets messed up. So
yeah, she gets stabbed. 7 times? I think they said. She gets her foot broken.
She puts up a fight.
In this one, there's 7 stab movies because you see a YouTube thing talking about stab 8.
Yep.
Didn't the previous movie have like 8 stab movies they were going through all the openings of?
I don't remember the opening of the 4th one enough to remember which stab movies they went through, but they definitely were. There definitely were a lot of them.
I'm pretty sure the opening to it, the girl was watching Stab 8 because then the whole opening of Stab 8 was them watching Stab 7.
Well, I got another one for you since you're talking about it.
Oh shit!
I'm pretty sure at some point in this movie, the character Wes, either he says or someone says to him something about his mom is a character in the Stab movies. Judy Hicks is a character in the Stab movies.
She should have only been the character in the one that happened prior.
Do you think there was a one that was actually made off the events of Part 4, though? I don't think there was. I mean, it's never mentioned. But if there was, then if there actually was, then that would mean that Jill succeeded because she would actually be famous then. Maybe, but I don't know. But it all goes into...
Did Gail write about it?
And then Kirby.
Yeah, because Kirby survived.
Is Kirby known for that? Because... If they did, I don't know, because they talk about the last Stab movie having nothing to do with Sydney, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously Scream 4 had a lot to do with Sydney.
Oh, yeah, but who knows how many sequels were retconned into this one after that.
Yeah, but I just can't see Judy Hicks suddenly being a character based on that. That's weird.
Well, yeah, what was another one? Another continuity error. Probably isn't a continuity error, just an error in line delivery. But Sam states that more than half the events that happened in the Stab movies happened in Woodsboro, which is again false because only 2 movies happened in Woodsboro.
Right.
So you can't say more than half. You can only say half. Well, how about we go ahead and meet our second main character of Sam?
Oh, shit. We should have stuck with our first main character. Let's just follow her to the hospital and sit with her for the rest of the movie.
Oh, yeah, and also Richie. We meet Richie, too. Amber, Wes, Chad, Liv, and Mindy. Also Vince, played by Kyle Gallner.
Who we know from the terrible Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yep. And also, I want to mention, Richie is played by Jack Quaid, Dennis Quaid's son.
Wow.
I didn't really recognize him at first.
Oh.
Obviously, because I don't think I've seen a movie with Jack Quaid in it.
Is the guy that plays Chad?
Yeah, that's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
Okay, I was wondering. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because
I saw the resemblance,
familiar.
but I didn't want to say. I didn't know. So.
He looks more like Cuba Gooding Jr. than Jack looks like Dennis. We get Sam's backstory when she gets to the hospital, and the only reason why we have Sam in this movie is because she's Billy's daughter. Oh wait, I need to say it right? Okay, hold up. Billy's daughter.
Billy's daughter. Where are you at, Timothy Olyphant, when we need you? Come on. Just bring him in for one voiceover.
All right. Damn it, Mick.
So Billy was quite the active. So Billy was how active of a teenager was he? Beside planning the murder of Maureen Prescott,
He cheated on her with some woman.
got her pregnant.
Yep.
Damn, Billy, he was doing a lot.
And also, it's because of Sam's backstory is why Tara's dad leaves the mother. And then Sam becomes a bad kid and leaves town completely.
Ooh, I do wonder about Sam's family. The
Who's the
mother,
mother?
the guy that was the father before.
Right.
It's very interesting to think about what's going on there.
I got an idea. It's Stu.
You just really want Stu to come back. He's dead. He's not coming back. He's gone.
Matthew Lillard would probably do an amazing job if he was able to come back. Either way, so we get Vince's death.
All right, look, I don't like this because he's in 2 scenes only, and in both scenes he's like that sort of outside threat. I guess you could say he's a red herring in like terms of like, oh, he looks threatening, but we know he's not the killer.
And we definitely know he's not the killer the minute he dies.
He dies very quickly, and
Just gets stabbed in the neck.
the guy's probably a better actor than 90% of the teens in the movie.
Also, the real question I got is, his car must be pristine. Because he turns his car off,
yes.
stands up when he gets stabbed in the neck, and his car's back on.
Not only that, but look.
Of course, Christine didn't kill Ghostface at this point.
Okay. I understand his headlights are blinding him, right? But someone's in the car. He walks 5 feet to where he can see the car, and someone's not there anymore. Where the hell? Where did
turned the car
Ghostface
on?
go?
Right.
Where he's not visible? Did he hide under the car? Because then he'd have to maneuver back.
His name's Ghostface.
Well, yeah, it's not Amber. And we'll see, because when Ghostface is the mask, he can overpower people and do stuff that Amber probably can't
I'm telling you, Ghostface is its own entity. The minute you put on that mask, you're no longer yourself.
This scene of Vincent dying was all excuse to play.
Kill off Kyle Gallner?
No, to play the damn song "Red Right Hand," which is like famous from the first movie.
Which
I'm good with it. I'm good.
is also the main theme song for the show I've been watching called Peaky Blinders.
Sweet. All right. Well,
It's actually a pretty decent show.
I only know the song from the first Scream, but it's an iconic song either way.
Either way.
It's used well here. It's just kind of like, I just would have liked the guy to stick around, maybe kill him later in the movie, but the guy's a good actor. He probably could have fleshed that character out more.
Okay, so
Oh, should we talk about Sam at the hospital again?
actually I was gonna mention that Billy Loomis makes an appearance in this movie.
Listen,
This is not a supernatural based movie, but yet we get a ghost.
Maybe I reacted so bad because this is too close to
To Ozzy.
This is too close to Ozzy Ghost. We're 2 weeks removed from Ozzy Ghost, and now we got Billy Ghost.
But here's the thing: is Billy really a ghost or just a figment of her delusional imagination? Because we do know she is apparently a schizophrenic.
She's definitely a figment, but the problem is, she looks exactly like how we know Billy as of, and he has Billy's voice.
Well, that's because
she never met him.
It's still played by the same actor.
Yeah, but how does her mind conceive him as the killer from Scream with his voice and everything? The way she's never met him.
I don't know about the voice. But,
I know she saw a picture. Maybe
I'm about to say the picture. She could get the physical aspect, but voice wise,
I don't like it.
what they should have done is obviously still have the actor come back for Billy Ghost, but then get the voice of the actor who played him in the Stab movie to do the voiceover.
I don't like it because it actually, in a way, it makes the movie less scary. Even though it's a figment of her mind, it makes me feel like, oh, the main character, she got the ghost of Billy Loomis is on her side. They're gonna fuck up the killers. I'm already thinking like, I'm not scared for her because she has her dad, the ghost of Billy Loomis,
Who is
on her side, advising her.
A lot better of a serial killer, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna fuck these kids after them up. So I'm like, it makes it less scary to be like, oh, he's there and he's like advising her. I'm like, yeah, this is the wrong movie. Scream is not the movie to have that kind of thing. It's just, it's not elevated horror. It's not supernatural. Even though it's in her mind, it feels like Billy the Ghost.
So either way, Ghostface attacks Sam in the hospital.
What the hell, man?
So Ghostface calls. Let me rephrase. Amber's phone calls Sam. Sam is talking to her and finally says, "You want me? Come and get me." And we just get already there. Just shuts the door and attacks her.
So this is like the first movie where Ghostface has the master plan going, but in the master plan, there's like one or two sort of fake attacks where he's really not trying to kill you yet,
but
he wants to put in your brain that this is real and you are under attack, basically. But there's no plan to actually kill you there.
Well,
but that's risky as shit doing this in the hospital. But apparently we're going to find out this is the fucking hospital from Halloween 2 and how empty it is at certain times. So,
well, one thing I'm going to say is I do like how they get rid of the amazingly destructive Ghostface from the previous movie and bring back the one that actually can get his ass kicked if his opponent is actually good.
Yeah.
Because this one, Sam, yeah, she's afraid, but she ducks out of the way. She whacks him with a damn table, pushes him across the table, and then gets out. The previous Ghostface would not have been able to get his ass kicked like that.
Oh, no. This one's going to show some superhuman strength, though, too. So we'll see.
Oh, that's because Amber. Amber's just schizophrenic. Amber's not.
But there's certainly there's versions of Ghostface that are like clumsy as shit. They'll trip all over the place, fall everywhere.
This one's more in the middle of being clumsy as shit and being a killing machine.
And as always, much taller than the actual character who's going to be Ghostface.
I think
they have no regard for. They're like, all right, who's going to be Ghostface? Oh, the 5'3" character. But in the mask, they're always going to be 6 feet something.
But you would think, if they had it to where Richie was the one doing the killings, it would make a little bit of sense because he is about that height.
In the fourth movie, Jill and Charlie
are both like 5
they're
foot.
5'5".
Well, that's because whatever stuntman they get to play them every time, that's just that damn tall.
The only believable Ghostface was Roman.
Well, I mean, at least Billy and Stu, because that Ghostface really never stood around, it was a little bit more believable stuff.
My man Dewey in his trailer, minding his business, living his life, retired because the police force didn't want him anymore.
Yep.
Still watching Gail Weathers on her morning talk show.
Yep, they got divorced, as per life.
He gets a visit
from Sam and Richie.
And as he says, hey, listen, give me one good reason to answer the door. I'm Billy Loomis's daughter.
That's a fucked up reason for me to answer the door.
Now, come on in.
I just love that line. It's like, that's a terrible reason for me to answer this door.
Yeah, so Samantha, so Dewey quickly surmises what's going on and says, hey,
it's Richie.
How long have you known him? And he makes a key point. It's like, did he know that you were from Woodsboro? And Richie's over there like thinking he's probably shitting his pants. Knowing Richie like we know him, he's probably like, oh shit. He doesn't want Dewey to be involved probably at that point.
Well, he probably wants to finally get him killed.
I think Amber wants to kill Dewey.
Yeah.
But I think he's just about Samantha. But I don't think, because there was a strong chance that Sidney Prescott was not going to come back and be in this movie.
And she's barely in this movie. She doesn't come in until like 3/4 of the way in.
Yeah, they had to find a reason to bring her, which we'll get into. But anyways, Samantha puts the hard sell on. She's like, hey, help us. Let's do this together. And Dewey's like, no.
So while everyone's together, Dewey decides to help them out. While everyone's together, we find out why Ghostface killed Vince.
Related
to Stu. Stu's nephew.
Which means Stu's dead.
Which makes me wonder one thing. Why wasn't he a bigger role in this fucking movie?
And who the hell was Stu's sister?
Yeah.
That really. Must have been an older sister because
she wasn't anywhere in the first movie.
Hell no. She wasn't.
We don't even hear about her.
Sleeping quietly in a room while Ghostface is killing everybody at that party in the first movie.
She was probably having premarital sex. Oh, wait. Vince would be about that age because she's about the same age as Sam.
This is a final confirmation that Stu's not coming back. Now, what about this scene, though, in the living room where all the characters gathered? And Mindy
just branding it up.
Mindy, who's been spending her whole life on the horror subreddit, now gets a chance to show all her horror movie knowledge and gets to just go over half the audience's head probably, and the audience that understood it, the half that understood it was like, yes, this feels, as a horror fan who knows this stuff, this feels too meta for me even. Right. I'm like, this is too much.
And what's even worse is I know they're trying to make her pretty much be the next Randy, but Randy had a lot of personality that's not just movies. He was your go-to, but that wasn't his only personality. His personality also focused around wanting to be with Sydney and protecting her, along with keeping himself alive even though he knows he's going to die.
Plus, he was unhinged. Every time he started talking about movies and going deep into
He would go insane.
He would go insane, would turn to a big thing.
which got him killed.
Mindy has that unlikable sort of just calmly.
Oh yeah, we're gonna die.
This is looks at Samantha like, well, we know who the killer is. It's you.
And what's even funnier is
Matter of fact.
Is Chad. So I get the feeling Chad somewhat doesn't believe half the stuff she's saying because he just nonchalant goes, "Oh, that means what you're talking about. That means me and you are gonna die."
Yep.
Just nonchalant, and him I can believe, but then Mindy's like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely dead." It's like,
yeah, the problem is when things get very meta, you can be meta, but I want to feel like the characters are scared for their lives. I don't want to feel like they're so in on the joke that they're like, yeah, fuck, we're dead. Like, it's fine, but then you don't fear for them. You're like, hey, they know they're dead. It's like,
so why should I care? There's no repercussions about it.
Yeah, there's
At least Amber, who's a psychopath, gives some form of a performance to be like, I don't want to die.
Yeah. Like, we got to care for the characters. If they're too in on it, then it makes you be like, oh, well, the script isn't making us care for them to live, basically.
And something tells me Liv doesn't watch horror movies because she's just sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. No, the funniest line, though, in the scene was Dewey being like,
I shouldn't have come back.
No, he's like Wes says all this stuff to him. He's like, maybe you are the killer. Because that cut deep.
Or better yet, when they mention that the legacy characters, they come back just to die. He's like, I should have just stayed in the trailer.
I like how when she says, like, Sam, you're probably the killer, Sam literally takes it so seriously that she's like, I'm out of here. She gets up and storms off. Like
yeah, that doesn't tell... That tells us a lot about you.
You took that whole speech from Minnie so seriously. Do you think she's actually accusing you of being the killer? And you took that so personally, you storm off.
Well, how about we get to Wes then going home, Judy's ordering sushi, and then she gets a call from Ghostface halfway down the road.
Yeah, this
is actually pretty... I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good scene.
I like it. And you know what it is? It's basically a play on the Cotton Wary death scene from part 3.
Yeah.
But I got one problem with this scene.
It turned into Psycho.
No. He said it was going to be Psycho.
No, I love that line too. She's like, hey, you're probably not even in the house. You ever seen the movie Psycho? It's like, well, that tells me everything I need to know.
All right. Well, my thing is just this. And maybe this is nitpicky. I don't know. You tell me if it's nitpicky. When Judy finds out that Ghostface is talking to her and her son's been threatened and she starts storming back towards her house.
She almost run somebody over?
That too. She definitely almost had a Ben Willis situation. But beyond that, she tells the whole police force, like, come to my house. Everybody come to my house. All right, timer's on. Because she gets home, and we know what happens. She runs up the stairs. We find out. Now, first of all, as a cop, she should have been a little bit more. I guess her mother instincts took over, and her cop training went away because she just ran the house like desperate mom instead of I'm a sheriff with a gun and I should approach carefully. So she's running up the stairs to be killed. Obviously, you're being baited.
I just want to say something. For some reason, she does not feel like a cop in this movie. She's supposed to be the sheriff now. But unlike the previous movie, she feels less of a cop and more, as you said, probably more of a mom.
Yeah, but
that seems like
any cop. Think about any cop movie you've ever seen or a cop in a movie. Anytime you approach, I don't care if your son's in there. You approach gun drawn, cautiously.
Well,
she's running the stairs.
Let's go ahead and look at Lethal Weapon for that matter. Murtaugh's daughter was threatened and kidnapped. But before he knew she was kidnapped, they went there, they kicked down the door, but they were still cautious going through the house.
Yeah, she's running to the house. I'm like, you're pretty sure Ghostface is there.
I will say what I like about the scene is the fact that when he calls her back, he just went, yeah, they're not going to get here in time, are they? You're not going to get here in time. And he's just constantly just baiting her and finally she's like, please don't kill him. He's just an innocent boy. It's like, I don't care.
I'll tell you what. This is a brutal death.
Oh, yeah. Now he stabs her. Well, she
starts to fight back. And she does hold him off for a second. But she makes the brilliant move of doing the hand thing.
Yeah, just slamming the second hand.
But damn, did he have to stab her 18 times?
I feel like that's kind of Even though no one likes the movie, I feel like that's an homage to Halloween 2 Rob Zombie version, because whenever Michael Myers killed anyone in that movie, it was always with like 20 stabs, and you can hear the bones breaking every single stab.
Man.
And no matter what you can say about those movies, that was probably the most brutal Michael Myers, because he just killed people, just like die.
Yeah, it can be too much. I mean, this wasn't, even though it was a lot of stabs, this wasn't overly gory. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of stabs. But
still, what did Amber have against his mother?
Most people like Judy Hicks, so that's a tough.
Yeah, what did Amber have against Judy? Wes's death.
It's very well set up, because you see all the fake jump scares, or the things that throw you off, how he's opening all the doors.
And you just hear the
music builds up, and
then he closes it, and it's like, oh, okay, we're getting it now. It's not happening.
It's going to happen when we want it to happen. And then it happens really predictably. You're like, oh, we heard the door open. Ghostface was outside. He just walked in.
Because now he has the keys to the house, because he just killed Judy.
Yes. Now, Wes calmly approaches.
Shuts and locks the door.
Turns around.
Ghostface is right there. Now,
all right. So you got to
does Amber have this much power?
Walk me through this straight up. His strength versus her strength. Who's going to win? And literally lets this girl.
Are we sure this is not Richie? Because I feel like Richie could overpower him, but how the hell did
Richie is
Amber?
Not the one to kill Judy that way at all. Come on. Everything we know about Richie is he's not the one to violently stab Judy 18 times. Yep. This is definitely Amber. Hey, it's going to happen again with Dewey, so this is just the prelude to that. But, okay, if you're going to be bold about, okay, this teen girl is that. Would she even try the kill where she's like, okay, hey, I'm going to kill him through a test of strength. My strength versus that. She slowly wins. I'm just like, in retrospect, you're like, dude, use your feet. Kick her.
Right.
Use your legs.
Said he's trying to reach for the taser that he can't reach. It's like, okay, you can't reach the taser. What's your next option? Feet, bud. I know your hair shows that you're not smart, but you got your feet, bud.
Yeah, that was a brutal death scene. But again, going back to what I said, okay, at this point, 10 minutes ago, Judy called all forces to come to her house, the entire cop force.
And sounded scared.
And
so
Woodsboro's a small town. 10 minutes. So while that's happening, Ghostface is taking his time to stalk Wes and let Wes do all this stuff. And I just, at a certain point, I'm like, okay, you killed Judy in broad daylight. That itself was pretty bold. Uh-huh. But why did it take no cops showed up in the next 12 minutes after we saw her? All cops come to my house. That makes no sense.
So what I think it is the cops actually hated Judy as a sheriff.
The dude that arrived first is like, I'm next in line to be sheriff. I'm gonna go ahead and let Ghostface take him out.
Right.
All you gotta do is remove her saying that. Mm-hmm. Just take that out, and then logically everything's fine. It makes sense. But don't have to be like, shit's going down, everybody in my house, and then slow death scene in the West at the house where the cops should be pulling up and nothing happens for 10 minutes.
So guess who else is in this movie? There's one more character to introduce. Gale.
I was hoping to say Joel the cameraman.
No.
He came back just to leave in the cab again and be like, well, came back too soon. I'm out of here.
No.
Gale Weathers.
Gale Weathers.
She got on the book, right?
Yes.
What's she doing here?
Well, she's 90% worried about Dewey. In which case we find out that they actually at some point between 4 and this movie moved to New York so Gale can be who she is. And then Dewey's like, yeah, this ain't for me. And in the middle of the night, packed up his shit and left.
Look, I know why she really came back.
Booty?
She came back to laugh. She came back to laugh at the dead body of Judy Hicks.
Yeah.
She never liked Judy Hicks. The fact that she shows up conveniently.
She never liked them lemon squares. They taste like shit.
I do wonder also, the same thing with Vincent, if you could have got more out of the West character. He was actually connected to Tara and Sam in a way it seemed that the other characters weren't.
Well, to be honest with you, when you find out that he liked Tara, all that really tells me is he was going to die because that's the new trope. The boyfriend, the soon-to-be boyfriend of our main character is going to die.
Yeah.
You can't have that couple interaction anymore because, hell, Leprechaun's over with. They're not doing another Leprechaun movie. Can't have couples surviving anymore.
Yeah, but I feel like, the dude was a decent actor, too. It just felt like you could have got more out of that. But I understand the shock value.
Like, give him an actual way to defend himself against a 5'3" little girl?
Well, it could have been actually that the whole plan was just to lure the sheriff and kill Judy Hicks.
And then leave Wes alive
Honestly,
until he tries to do something.
you kind of feel bad. In one way, good for Wes, though. Sympathetic to him, though. At least he didn't... The worst thing I could think of, like, if he would have found his mom's dead body and then got killed.
Well, all he had to do was open the fucking door.
I feel bad for his mom, but at the same time, it's like neither of them knew if the other one had been killed or not. So, worst thing if they would have both saw each other dying or something like that. But yeah,
So let's get to the second, or I guess third hospital scene where Tara.
too many damn. There's too many hospital scenes.
Well, in this case, we're getting Tara's making a run for it or a ride for it. Which case?
Hey, by the way, again, I know there's just one security guard here. Where's everybody on
And
the
the security
floor?
guard's dead, by the way.
Yeah, but where's the rest of the people on the floor? Where's the
So,
doctors, nurses?
The reason I mentioned the hand thing is because, so obviously, because the blade went through the hand, she had to get stitches in the hand. So while she's sitting there trying to get out of there with the wheelchair, the stitches opened up in her hand, making the hand bleed even
Oof.
more. Definitely in a lot of pain. And then Ghostface,
Slowly walking towards her.
after Ghostface slices Richie but doesn't kill him.
How convenient.
Yeah. So anyway, she's slowly getting there. Ghostface is slowly walking because Sam called, was it Richie's phone?
Yes.
Sam calls Richie's phone, talks to him,
And Ghostface, aka Amber.
turns on the voice changer. Which
And
this is the first time we actually legitimately see someone turn on the voice changer while in the Ghostface mask.
yeah, that's always been a point of contention of like people always wonder like,
Where are they keeping that thing?
yeah, how is that happening?
Like, do they just keep pulling it out? Because technically Ghostface never talks when actually on screen.
But also, you notice that whenever a character like does a thing like that with the thing and talks, it always doesn't quite sound like Ghostface. It sounds kind of muffled.
It does.
But then in the mask, it sounds perfectly like Ghostface's voice, right? Anyways, that doesn't make sense. But so, anyways, Ghostface, aka Amber, actually asks Samantha, "Hey, I'll give you a choice, Richie or your sister."
I can't decide.
But I asked, what if Samantha had been like, "Richie, kill Richie, kill Richie," and Ghost was like, "You have to choose Richie. I'm telling you, Richie, choose wisely. Richie, kill Richie." What would Amber have done if she said to kill her partner in crime, poor Richie?
Something tells me Amber would have done it.
Turn around and be like, "Hey, Richie, I'm sorry, man." and Richie's like, "This is not a part of the plan."
Well, too bad. Fake your death.
No, they need each other. So
I still feel like Amber, being a psychopath, would have fucking done it.
So we get this funny moment here where Samantha's like acting all like pleading like, "No, don't do it, blah, blah, blah." But then she tries to pull the gotcha moment. She's like, "Oh," wow, I forget what she said, but it was something like, maybe we were just trying to lure
Stall
you.
for time.
Just stall for time.
Elevator opens and Dewey starts shooting.
But I would have laughed if... So Samantha's like being all bold and trying to pull the gotcha, but she can't actually physically see that Tara and Ghostface are in the hallway there. So what the hell? What if she opened the elevator, walked out, and Ghostface was gutting Tara and sliced her throat, or if they weren't there?
First, I just want to mention, again, I still like how this Ghostface just straight up told Sam, "You are a horrible sister. You can't even decide to kill your boyfriend to save your sister, or you're a horrible girlfriend because you can't decide to kill your sister to save your boyfriend."
Yeah, but that said, Amber is a horrible friend. So there, she's killing our friends.
That's fair.
Hypocritical Amber.
But I still kind of like that line. But another thing, it could just be because Roger L. Jackson's voice.
Well, look, Samantha should have very quickly said Richie.
Yeah, but
She's only known him 6 months. How do you even contend hey, my sister or Richie? You known him 6 months.
well, I mean, to be fair, she did leave Tara when she was 13.
Yeah, but that's because Bill Loomis. So.
Yeah, but anyway, so to answer your question on how she knew where Ghostface was, is because they had to wait for the elevator to come down to pick them up.
Don't do it.
The
Don't say
front
it.
desk had, because all hospitals have cameras.
Don't do it.
The front desk has the cameras on the monitor.
Don't do this to yourself. Don't say it.
They looked at the camera and said, "Oh, they're in the hallway."
The funny thing is when Dewey comes out, starts shooting, gets into a physical altercation with Ghostface.
Kicks her ass.
Sort of. At least this is the first sign of, oh, this is a little girl, because she tried her thing with him. The thing she did with Judy Hicks.
And it didn't work.
And he's like, not today. What the hell is Richie doing?
Crying that he was cut.
He's leaving with Sam, and I'm thinking, your partner in crime is getting killed by Dewey here. Like, what are you doing?
Well, then Dewey runs to the elevator just to then walk back.
What the hell, Dewey?
Dead in front of her, and then he gets a phone call.
Now, before I say who called, which we will find out in a second, what would have been brilliant and made so much sense if for some reason Richie had called to check on him or like, hey, so did you kill him?
Yeah, that would have made...
That would have been, in hindsight, that would have been a lot of sense. But
I mean, if Richie's the one doing most of the calls, he could have his phone, which he would have then done in front of his girlfriend.
That's where it's tricky. At that point, he has to choose between save Amber or just become a normal boyfriend now and let go of his whole plan to kill.
Yeah, but since his phone apparently can clone other phones, all he had to do was clone Gail's phone number.
Yeah, but he would have never known to do that ahead of time.
He probably would.
Plus, how would he even know Gail's phone number? Gail's like a celebrity in a different town now, so think about it.
I mean, he was at his house. There could have been a missed scene where he actually grabbed a hold of Dewey's phone and got her number from that.
Dewey would have kicked his ass.
Because his phone, Dewey's phone was right on the counter.
They're sitting down on his couch in one scene, though. Dewey would have kicked his ass. Dewey would have kicked his ass. He didn't let him outside.
Either way,
here's my thing. This is a very convenient thing because even though Dewey walked back stupidly, the bottom line is he's standing over a fallen Ghostface with a gun in his hand aimed. His phone rang. He looks down for 1 second, and Amber missed her call on the track team. She jumped up like the fucking Flash and stabbed him, and happened to have a second knife also.
Which I want to bring up. This is the only kill in the entire franchise with Ghostface using 2 knives.
She's seen all the stab movies. She knows that one knife with Dewey can't get it done.
Yeah, so
you gotta gut the man, otherwise.
Which I actually really thought this scene was really good. It was nice and dramatic.
I like
Dewey
when
finally dies.
I like when the phone rings and he smiles because he sees Gail calling. I wouldn't be smiling if I was getting gutted, but
but still, he's
I liked it.
It was a really good scene. It was a dramatic scene because even if you didn't like Dewey because of his ridiculousness throughout the entire series, there's still that attachment to the character. Especially in this movie, because he actually did an amazing job in this movie.
Yeah, I was saying, even if you felt a certain way about his goofiness in the earlier movies, in this movie he felt way more grounded. He felt more seasoned.
Felt more like he should have felt by part 3 at least.
Just David Arquette felt like a better actor in this movie than he did in previous movies. There's a lot of like facial expressions and the way he spoke his dialogue. Everything was a little bit better than he's ever been in the past. And at this point in the movie, he was the only real legacy character that you felt a connection to because Gail just came back in one scene and we haven't seen Sidney yet. So even though it was a good death scene, it was kind of like, damn, Dewey's gone. Pretty sure the second half of the movie is not going to be as good as the first half was now.
Well, Sidney's back.
Brilliant. The
because
only thing that would make her come back to Woodsboro
is Dewey's death.
Even though Dewey told her on the phone, no matter what happens, even if Ghostface guts me like a fish, do not come back to Woodsboro. And here she comes. And hey, why not send Mark, the police officer, instead of you, Sidney? You married a cop for a reason. Send him to come. I wonder how he felt about her going back to Woodsboro.
Patrick Dempsey probably wasn't... They probably didn't have enough money for Patrick Dempsey. Sam and Tara decided to do the one thing that characters never do in horror movies.
Except Joel. Cameraman for part 2.
Yeah. Leave. But instead they go to Amber's house.
This really annoyed me. So Richie's driving.
Yes.
They're all going out of town. They're headed towards I-95. You see the exit ramp. They're 1 second away from being on track, getting out of the country. You gotta treat Ghostface like it's the killer from It Follows. You gotta drive across to a different country.
Yes.
He's walking towards you.
Yes.
Somebody in the car has asthma.
Tara. It was established in earlier scenes, including the potential of the very first scene we see her in, it looks like she's having an asthma attack in her panic state.
Yes. So, okay. There's two things happening that both I'm not sure make so much sense. Let's cut away from them in the car for a second. Meanwhile, somewhere, Amber's having a party.
Yes.
A big party.
Yes.
With everything going on, they're having a monster party.
Yes. The first movie did it.
And they've seen the first Stab movie, clearly. And Mindy's at the party, Chad's at the party, Liv's at the party.
Honestly, if your girlfriend in this situation that y'all find yourselves in gets pissed off that you don't know who the killer is and you don't want to be left alone with someone that you're not entirely sure about.
Plus, that situation. If you go upstairs and have sex, you're more than likely to get killed.
Yeah.
That's horror movie 101.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait a minute. Okay. So that's the inhaler thing. All right. So this is not oh shit, this plan has to have a lot of things go right to make it work. The high point, as we know, will always be Ben Willis, and I still know what he did last summer, where the killer concocts the most crazy plan that still somehow comes true and puts our victims in peril. So that's like, say, the highest point. That's the 10, right? This is not even maybe like a 7 or 8. I'll give this like a 6. But we'll call it the inhaler plan. The inhaler plan. The idea that she doesn't have her inhaler, she's going to remember that she needs her inhaler, and the only place she can get it is to stop at Amber's house where our killers need her to be. Problem is, they're in this car driving. Richie's happily about to hit that exit ramp to go towards Canada, not saying a damn thing. And she's like, hey.
Oh no, he is saying something. She's like, hey, we need my inhaler. It's at Amber's house. Well, what's the address? And Richie does say, the address is 123 No Fucking Way Lane.
Richie's ass is like arguing against it. How does that make any sense? Shit, I really need to get us to Amber's house. He's thinking that. No, we're not doing that. Again, everything's to throw off suspicion. And even that's supposed to make us as the audience be like, Richie really doesn't want to go to the house, man. He's not the killer. and do they know that Amber's having a party?
No, because they get there. They're getting Amber takes Tara to go get the inhaler, and they end the party.
Let's be clear.
Amber
and Richie. Richie specifically tells everybody to leave. Now, if there's a killer on the loose, right? And let's say shit's going down at the house, the safest thing for everybody is to keep a big party happening.
Yes.
Nobody's going to attack with 50 people there.
Yes, but let's go ahead and get to Chad being attacked, because I guess Amber didn't like Chad, or maybe Amber liked Chad too much that she would have rather dated Chad instead of Liv dating him, because first she stabs him in the femoral artery, which he could have easily bled out.
Yes.
And then she stabs him, 3 or 4 times?
A lot.
Either way,
that was a death scene.
She did not like Chad at all.
The man was probably laying there for a good 34 minutes bleeding out, and he got stabbed maybe 5 times.
Yep. And literally one of those stabs was his femoral artery, which is a major artery where if it's cut, you might as well be dead.
Well, we might as well go and reveal right now. What happened was the directors ended up liking the actor a lot.
Yep.
And they came out and said, hey, once we met the actor and we liked him a lot, we said, hey, we're going to film that scene at the end also, like Wes did with Dewey in the first one, about him being alive, and then we'll figure out if we want to use that or not. So there's a scenario where his character's dead and a scenario where he's alive, and they ended up using the one where he's alive.
Yeah, so Mindy is attacked. So all the characters now converge in the living room, and I just want to talk about the Ghostface running from Mindy's body, because it kind of makes no sense.
Yep.
As we've kind of established, Amber was with Tara.
Yep.
What was Tara doing that Amber had the time to put on Ghostface costume, come out to the living room, stand there for a good 30 seconds, attack Mindy, run back, somehow get undressed in like 30 seconds, and then meet up with Tara? Or was this one actually Richie that attacked her?
I don't know. I still stand by the idea for me. I don't think Richie's ever Ghostface. And Richie comes back with a beer in his hand, which suggests that he actually went to get a beer. So it's
Which,
weird.
if he changed into the Ghostface outfit in the basement, slowly came back up the basement. He probably put the beer on the counter in the kitchen. So that way when he ran and got undressed, which still is an amazing amount of time because that's still 30 seconds. Actually, it's shorter for him because the beer falls on the floor, which is what gets Amber and Tara into the room.
Anything's possible. It could be a callback to there's one scene in part 4 where Jill wears the Ghostface costume. So it's possible. I mean, Jill, who didn't kill anybody in part 4, she was wearing the Ghostface costume one time in that movie. Maybe Richie this one time wore this Ghostface costume as well, but...
What's up?
Okay, well, we do get a great scene of Sidney Prescott and Gail arriving. Amber running on the front porch.
Help! Help! I've been attacked!
been
It's so
attacked.
bloody! Everyone's dead!
Are you buying this?
Nope. Oh, fuck
this. That was good.
That was actually pretty damn good.
Well, how good was her aim? She shot Gail in the ribs in one shot.
Right. I just love how both Gail and Sydney look at each other. It's like, nah.
I do have a question though.
Uh-oh.
So Amber shoots Gail in the stomach.
Yes.
And runs back in the house.
Yes.
Gail and Nev rediscuss the new plan where where Nev is going to, I'm calling her Ned, where Sydney is going to go in the house and take care of Ghostface.
Yes.
At this specific point in time, now knowing what they know, would it not make sense at this point for them to call the cops to come to the house?
Nah.
Do they not have cell phones?
Well, remember how long it took them to get to Judy's house?
No.
How long do you think it's going to take the cops to get to damn middle of bumfuck nowhere?
No. You can still go do your thing, Sydney. Go in there, do your thing. But why not call the cops and tell them to come? Does that hurt to call them?
They're all probably at damn Judy's grave.
Hey, no, it's like they finally just arrived at Judy's house.
Exactly.
They just got to Judy's house right now. Hey, we're here.
Sydney goes through the house, shooting every door known to fucking man. What would happen if she shot Tara?
She could have.
Instead, she shoots Richie in the leg.
So I think basically that was Richie probably talking to her on the phone.
Yeah.
Don't you know right before she shoots him, he probably throws through the phone or something.
And then Amber attacks. They fall down. They go into the kitchen because they want their big climax. Sydney tries to go for the gun. Amber stabs Sydney.
Well, Sydney gets stabbed, and Gail gets shot. But by the end of the movie, they both feels like they're both okay. So
well, that's because now they're
flesh wounds, I guess.
Well, I guess that's because they have to get into a physical fist fight with this chick that beats them both until they finally just say fuck it and shoot her.
She could have been in prison like Stu and been all right. So
yeah, that's the 6th movie, Stu and Amber.
They could have shared a cell together.
Imagine, well, for one, that wouldn't be able to because Stu's a dude and Amber's a chick. Also, imagine that movie of Stu and Amber, both extremely psychotic people, no mastermind.
By the way, this actress, she got burned alive in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now she's burned alive again. Why she keep taking roles if she get burned alive?
I guess she likes being on fire. This girl is on fire! Either way, so we get Sid and Gail versus Amber, which we just talked about, and Sam versus Richie. I think Richie would have a little bit more power to him. He doesn't look like that. I mean, he's scrawny and all, but he still doesn't look like that weak of a dude.
Yeah, but he allows them to get thrown down the stairs together.
In which case, then, when he finally grabs Sam to shoot her in the face, she grabbed a hold of the hunter's knife.
Yeah, but he takes like 5 minutes to approach her.
Well, that's the problem. Stop giving Bond speeches and maybe the villains win. I'm making up my own rules. Yeah, what's that? Don't fuck with the daughter of a serial killer. Yeah, when she was stabbing him, they were using the psycho sound. All right, and he's just like, wait. She's like, what? What about my ending? It's like, here's your damn ending. So Mindy and Chad are alive. And also the ghost of Billy, I'm assuming, is very proud that his daughter is not a killer. Yeah. Categories.
All right.
Best performance.
So for me, it's between David Arquette and Jenny Ortega. Mm-hmm. But because it's his last movie, I'm going to give it to David Arquette. This was a standout for David Arquette. And of the legacy characters, he definitely had the biggest role, the most impact. And also, like I said, he had some funny lines too.
So I'm going to go out of left field. I'm going to say Amber.
Oh, there you go.
She played a crazy person amazingly. I mean,
I would love to see. I need to see an interview with the actress because I feel like she's crazy in all her movies. I don't understand.
she plays the crazy person amazingly. She looks the part, plays the part well. I actually get the feeling she couldn't overpower Wes, but at the same time probably could if she really wanted to. Either way, so I'm giving it to Amber just for her insane acting. She's amazing.
I'm pretty sure she was a fan of like Stu or Matthew Lillard. Worst performance for me, it is the actress that plays Samantha. And it's going to lead into what my worst scenes are too in a minute, but just the moments she has to be dramatic, I don't buy it. She gives these monologues when she's giving that speech about how she found out about the mom and dad and all that stuff. She didn't sound genuine, but also like her character wasn't written very well either though. If you take away the Billy Loomis thing, there's really nothing there that we get to know about her.
So for me, it's going to be Mindy because at the end of the day, she's supposed to, in a sense, be our Randy. But
hell no.
But there it's obviously the writing. I'm sure the actress is amazing. It's most likely the writing, but the actress that played Mindy did not give us a Randy level performance when this is supposed to be our makeshift Randy. There's no becoming Randy. But she still needs to play the part of the movie buff, give us an actual character for her, and give us a reason to care about her. Whereas, like I said, with Randy, we felt for him because he knew he was going to be fucked, and he did everything he could to make sure he was either alive or at least got the girl at some point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, you're right. It was clearly him. Clearly, they're always trying to fill in the Randy void. And this is clearly another attempt. You saw it a little bit in part 3 with Tyson, the black dude. Mm-hmm. And in part 4, you had Charlie and his friend trying to kind of do. But they gotta let it go. But it's part of the Scream universe where they have to have a character be like meta, explain the rules and stuff like that.
This one, it was just her only character was being the movie buff. And if they were trying to imitate Randy, they failed in that regard. Sam's acting wasn't that great, but the way they wrote Mindy just pissed me off more than Sam's acting.
That's fair. Okay, best scene?
Best scene, Dewey's death. It was dramatic. It was intense. And also, I just love seeing the visual of Ghostface standing there with 2 knives.
That was pretty cool. I'm going to go actually with, I'm going to treat Judy and Wes's thing as one scene, basically.
It is.
And that is one sequence. It's probably a top 5 sequence in the Scream series. Runner up though, actually that opening scene though with Jenny Ortega, because I'll be able to go back and watch that scene a lot too. So,
all right. Well, what would you like?
No, worst scene.
Worst scene.
Easy for me. In the hospital, Sam and Tara and Sam's giving that long speech about how she found out about the whole Billy Loomis thing, and it's just a long monologue that slows the movie down. She's not selling it with her facial expressions. The only thing we have to hold on to is Jenny Ortega giving good facial expressions and making us care about it a little bit, but just a weird soap opera type scene for a Scream movie. So,
for me, it's the basement scene with Amber and Mindy. Because again, I mean, yes, we know about Amber,
metaverse,
but still, why would Mindy? We never really see them interact as friends. So why would Mindy give 2 flying fucks about Amber going into her own basement by herself, you not knowing who the killer is yourself, you knowing is most likely one of your friends, so you go down to the basement with probably the only friend who is insane.
That scene looks so stupid in hindsight because for Mindy it's like, yo, that was the actual killer you approached. And then on their side for Amber, why didn't you just kill Mindy right there?
Thing is again, every single thing out of Mindy's mouth is another movie buff thing. It's like
literally like it's like your whole life is this though.
Like there's nobody in real life who every time their mouth opens, a movie buff comes out. It's like no one.
Yeah.
It's like,
and if she was that smart about it, she would not be at this party.
Exactly.
She would know that this is probably where shit's gonna go down. Mm-hmm. So even the awareness thing, I would like someone to ask Mindy like, "Hey, did you see the sports game last night?" And just see like Does she know there's such thing as sports? Like anything?
Right.
Is anything exist outside of the stab movies for her? Damn.
Or actually shows some form of care for her brother. One little line of, where's my brother? It's like, yeah, you sold that very well, lady.
That's the thing, too. She's so meta that she can't really emote. So it's like, we can't care for your safety if you don't act scared at least sometimes.
Yeah, so like I said, the basement scene for me was the worst one. What would you like to change? The main character from Sam to Tara.
Yeah, and I would actually get rid of Billy Ghost. Don't try to humanize Billy Loomis and make him feel like he's a part of the good guys team.
Well, then again, if we change the main character from Sam to Tara, then we don't get Billy Ghost because only Sam sees Billy Ghost. Final thoughts? It was a good movie. Either way, the movie was actually shot pretty well. All the good, intense, even possible action scenes did not have no shaky cam bullshit, so we could tell what was going on. Acting was good, minus 2 people. Writing was good, minus 1 person. Billy Ghost made no damn sense. Either way, so I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 4. It's probably my second favorite Scream movie.
I'd like most of the performances. All the legacy characters did a good job returning. David Arquette definitely a standout there. Directing was pretty good. It was well shot. I don't love it. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I think it's an above average slasher movie. There's a lot of things about the movie that annoys me. In hindsight, I find Richie's character to be extremely annoying. Pre-reveal, post-reveal, I feel like he's useless. It's a 4 compared to Halloween Kills. So it depends on what you're comparing it to. So
either way, so everyone, as always, you don't have to get out of here, but you do have to start calling Vic Punyon from now on because his puns have layers and they make you cry.
And don't forget Nitpick Nick.